The most crucial thing you need to know about Morgan Freeman is this. The man detests receiving political opinions based solely on the color of his skin. He's Morgan Freeman, not your spokesperson, therapist, and sociology professor all at once. But it appears someone forgot to respect that viewpoint. On TV, they humiliated his dignity like a hit and run after inviting him to join the panel. He was only given 5 minutes to get going. 5 minutes. That's less time than it takes to reheat a frozen lasagna in the microwave. Then, instead of focusing on his new documentary, they tried to drag him into the dark waters of politics. It was akin to inviting Shakespeare to your home and then asking him to ghostwrite your tweets. But don't take my word for it. Watch the video, listen carefully, and prepare to chuckle.
There have been, if I remember correctly, 6 extinction-level events on the planet since life began. I mean, 6 times. Large portions of life. Not human life we're talking just life. Gone, destroyed. We're headed for another one. Scientists have said if we don't hurry up and change our ways, there's going to be a cataclysmic event that will wipe many of us off the face of the earth.
The View is really playing with fire when it comes to Morgan Freeman. And let's be honest, you don't really want to walk a tightrope with Morgan Freeman. As if it were the climax of a Shakespearean play, he can describe penguins waddling across Antarctica. But here they are, poking the bear, while he is only trying to promote his documentary Life on Our Planet. Of course, it's easy to turn that documentary, as well as the one about Black history, into a political issue. In essence, the 2 fastest paths to controversy are race relations and ecology. But let's pause the exaggerated alarmism about climate change. The extinction-level, world-ending kind of apocalypse only happens once every tens of millions of years. The next meteor shower won't be caused by your Prius, even though the dinosaurs had a rough time. If you want to impress at parties, anthropogenic climate change has only been an issue for about 200 years. So, yes, it's true the environment is changing, and yes, it requires careful thought. But the panel seem to be selling tickets to the end of the world. Even the most pessimistic predictions say we'll warm by 2 to 4 degrees Celsius. That's serious, but it doesn't mean pack your bags, the asteroid is coming. The bigger issue is that a strange anti-human, anti-growth mindset sometimes creeps into modern environmentalism, as if humanity itself were the villain in a Marvel movie. And when you look at the View panel, you can't help but notice that vibe creeping in. Doomsday warnings were served alongside guilt tripping.
It is because life is tenacious. Life. We're not talking about human beings here. We're talking about the planet.
Yeah.
She'll stay.
Yeah.
Well, it's tenacious if we would just leave it alone. Leave it alone. And the human interruption of all of that is what's causing all the problems. I hope that it's not too...
You see what I mean? The instant the planet and its environment become the main focus of the story, humans are automatically cast as the mustache-twirling villain. Joy Behar borrowed that exact framing straight from the far left's environmentalist playbook, and you could almost see Morgan Freeman's soul sigh. He didn't sign up for that interpretation of his documentary, and he certainly didn't want to take that detour. Here's the problem. On this planet, over 99% of all species that have ever existed are already extinct. Everything is gone. Dinosaurs, giant, like sloths, trilobites. Life comes and goes like a cosmic game of whack-a-mole. But the planet itself is tougher than a stale bagel. It has survived ice ages, meteor strikes, and even all of our 1980s fashion choices. I'm not making this up. There's even a fringe group online that advocates for the deliberate extinction of humanity in order to save the planet. Seriously, their idea of environmental protection is for all of us to exit stage left, giving Earth some alone time. That's basically the breakup line of, it's not you, it's me. Almost everyone on Earth is affected by this extreme ideology. This is what happens when you take a good and important idea, caring for the planet, and stretch it until it collapses. Morgan Freeman clearly disagrees with that extremism. Same here, honestly. I'd rather live to see it through, but I'm still all for protecting the Earth.
I want to ask you about a different documentary.
Go ahead.
As some politicians around the country try to erase Black history, you're making sure people don't forget vital parts of our past. Including this documentary that you executive produced called 761st did I get that right? Yeah, 761st Tank Battalion, the original Black Panthers. About the first Black battalion to fight in World War II.
First Black Armored Battalion.
Yes.
You could almost feel the tension on that panel. Everyone suddenly realized that Morgan Freeman had graciously corrected them, and nobody wanted to make eye contact first. Come on, the man has more gravity in his pinky finger than the entire studio combined. What were they even doing? They gave him only 5 minutes. 5? In that time, Morgan Freeman could barely finish a sentence, let alone discuss a documentary. With all the awkward political framing, the interview felt less like a thoughtful conversation and more like a rushed blind date. And then came the worst part. Sonny Hostin, not Austin, went and repeated the exact same move that Joy Behar had just made. This time it was about his Black History documentary, but the tactic was identical. They tried to use Freeman as the reluctant face of whatever social message they wanted to promote, and you could see that he was gently but firmly resisting. It was like inviting Gordon Ramsay to cook dinner and then handing him a microwave burrito. You just don't do that. The whole exchange showed how badly they had miscalculated. Morgan Freeman doesn't need their narrative.
And start in the 40s and move up. And how many times did I see Black people in the movies? And if I did see them, what were they doing?
Yeah, there were servants.
Servants.
They were always. I
Yeah.
know it's appalling.
I can give you the name.
If you watch old movies, Betty Davis movies are particularly, even though she's great, and
It's the period
It's not her
of time
fault.
that
It's
the
the
movies
period.
were made. Yeah.
It's
It's just
upsetting
what they
to
were
watch.
doing.
Tell you the
Well,
truth.
it shouldn't be that way
It
because
is.
somebody did make money.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And there it was. That's the time.
He is the narrative. It's really simple. You cannot force someone to feel like a victim if they have already decided not to play that role. And that's exactly why I think Morgan Freeman is remarkable. His refusal to carry burdens that aren't his own gives him a serene kind of assurance. If you think I'm exaggerating, go back and watch that old 60 Minutes interview. It's almost a masterclass in how to shut down the victim narrative, using only common sense and a voice that could convince you to refinance your mortgage.
How are we going to get rid of racism until...
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man.
There isn't a single person on that panel who can genuinely disagree with him. How could they? The man has survived it all. Born in 1937, Morgan Freeman is now 84 years old. He has witnessed the transformation of American culture over decades. You can't Google search that kind of living history. It's embedded in his perspective. That's why everything he says carries such weight. And he's right. Art is always a reflection of the culture it comes from, constantly evolving. What seems revolutionary today may feel outdated tomorrow. That's part of its beauty. Dragging the past into the courtroom of modern morals is naive and insulting to the artists who shaped their eras. Rewriting history with today's hashtags doesn't honor it, and I'd bet a good deal that Morgan Freeman doesn't want that for himself either. History will judge him in due time, but he would rather be remembered in the context of his own era, not as some unfortunate figure filtered through future outrage.